Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
August 22, 2020, those Pesky brothers edition. And we begin with that story from the Financial Times. As Mexico's president, colloquially known as AMLO, has been forced on the defensive after videos emerged showing his brother receiving packets of cash from a senior official in his government. The films have obviously been an embarrassment for the alleged graft-busting president a week after the sensational allegations emerged against 3 of Mexico's past presidents and a host of legislators in connection with separate bribery scandals. For those who don't know, Mexico is certainly at high risk for corruption, and family members engaging in corruption is really nothing new in Mexico. AMLO said the payments were campaign contributions from, quote, the people, end quote. How's that for a bribery scam? Next up, the Curtiss-Wright company may have violated U.S. sanctions on Russia after a blacklisted company acquired 2 of its long-standing customers, according to a securities filing. The company disclosed the potential breach this week with the SEC, the company which makes components and provides products and services to the defense, aerospace, and industrial sectors, disclosed that it notified sanctions authorities and retained outside counsel to investigate. The disclosure was made as a part of the successful issuance and sale of $300 million in senior notes, which the company said it expected to use for general corporate purposes. In the case that keeps on giving and giving and giving and giving and then gives some more, PdVSA was in the news again as yet another guilty plea was entered in the corruption case. A former procurement officer at PdVSA has pled guilty to an alleged role in a bribery scheme, and a former Citgo manager has been indicted on money laundering charges in the latest development. Linus Rangel, previously head of procurement at Petrocedeño, a PdVSA joint venture with 2 European oil companies, was accused of conspiring to launder millions in bribe payments through the U.S., including purchasing a condominium in Miami. Ms. Rangel pled guilty to 1 count of conspiracy to commit an offense against the U.S. U.S. prosecutors alleged that bribes were paid to Ms. Rangel and other executives to help secure contracts from Petrocedeño. The charge was unsealed in March. Earlier this month, the Justice Department said it had charged former Citgo corporation procurement officer Jose Zhong with 1 count of conspiracy to launder money. He worked at Citgo, PdVSA's U.S. company, how's that for irony, and agreed to accept between around $2.5 million in bribes to help steer business to PdVSA. And finally, the Trump administration continues its attack on anything that will help the environment, including sustainable investing. The Labor Department is about to put rules into place which will penalize companies who engage in sustainable investing. Why anyone would want to punish people who engage in sustainable investing from anyone other than the Trump administration, of course, is an open question. Thank you, Trump. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.